Welcome into the Thunder Basketball Universe presented by COOP Ale Works. We are recording this on Tuesday, June 20th. That means we're counting down hours now until the NBA draft, which is set to take place on Thursday, the 22nd. So we present to you this pre-draft pod. We're going to get you all set, everything you need to know, both in the lead up to the draft and what to expect following the draft. After, last season, you've probably got a little bit of an idea of what to expect, but we've got you covered here as well.
Yeah, veterans of the Thunder game kind of know how this goes. Sam Presti will give an address, the Thunder general manager, after the draft is totally complete. That's probably like 11 o'clock at night is when we'll get a chance to talk to him. So we'll have coverage of that and sort of what he's able to talk about. You may remember in years past that there's sometimes where if there's trades that have happened, he can't actually talk about who the players were that were drafted. So there are so many different outcomes that can come about on Thursday night because of the due diligence that the Thunder organization has done, because of how aggressive they've been in pursuing trades. So I would say for everybody out there, sit back, enjoy the ride, and we'll give you what you need to know afterwards.
Here's some things that you can just kind of rest on while you're just sitting back and enjoying the ride. First of all, you have to know that the Thunder is doing their incredible due diligence, not only researching and going through prospects and interviewing, but they're also countless workouts happening and just a lot of intelligence being gathered. And this is a process that has really been honed over the last 15 years of Thunder basketball.
Yeah, and it's a 12-month process. I mean, there are scouts worldwide who are sending information back here to Oklahoma City, to the Thunder Ion. They're providing reports based on what they've seen from players throughout the entire world, not just your college players, your one-year guys, but guys that have played in the G League perhaps, or have played
in the NBL.
In the NBL, like our guy Josh Giddey. So all of that is being done. Paris, as you mentioned, there are draft workouts that have happened here in Oklahoma City. There's workouts that happen kind of all over the country as well. Not only do you have the draft combine, but you have some of these sessions that guys will hold with their agencies in other cities as well. So it's really fascinating to kind of peel back the layers of all of the different ways in which the Thunder organization is gathering intel. And that is what its job is to just gather as much information as possible. And probably the most important part of the process, according to Sam Presti, is an actual face-to-face interview. When they have that conversation, that really tells them what they need to know about who the human being is. And ultimately, that's what the Thunder organization is looking to bring in, is a high-quality person and a high-character member of this new community.
And we've seen all of this, that process really come together and pay off big time for the Thunder over the course of its history. And as you look ahead to this year's draft, the Thunder in the first round will be selecting at number 12. Well, the Thunder also has some incredible history at this number. If you think back, 2003, the number 12 pick for the Thunder landed Nick Collison, Mr. Thunder.
He's got his jersey up in the rafters, so pretty good.
Yeah, pretty solid pick there. The second number 12 pick for the Thunder, 2013, 10 years later, it was Steven Adams.
Yeah, he's been, was a fan favorite here. Obviously, really helped define a lot of that culture as this organization was still, in its first decade as an NBA franchise. So obviously big time factor. And then just last year, our guy J-Dub, Jalen Williams at the number 12 pick as well. And of course, all that info has come out about how Sam Presti, and the Thunder front office really, really wanted to make sure they got him. And so they were able to pick twice at 11 and 12, and J-Dub was the guy at 12 there. So,
Nick, were you at the 2013 draft for Steven?
No, I was not. Just the last two drafts with Josh and J-Dub.
What do you remember about being in that building with J-Dub?
Oh, it's so fun to be a part of this life-changing night for these guys. And I had a chance to talk to Chet and had a chance to talk to J-Dub. Ooze, we chatted with a little bit, but that trade was not official quite yet.
Yeah.
And so there was only so much that we could do on that side of things. But the environment is so cool. It really feels like the start of a new chapter for each of these players and their families, and everybody's families are there and they're dressed to the nines and they're so excited. I mean, this is such a life-changing moment for them. And I know for Josh too, it was we were coming out of the pandemic. It was like a little bit crazy. He had been this late riser, just like J-Dub was. And his whole family was there. And it's just this wild whirlwind because they come off the stage, and Josh said this to us, he didn't remember a thing
just
about walking
blacked
onto
out.
the stage. Yeah.
Completely.
And then it's like he's shaking 30 people's hands and he's being whisked to one photo station to the next photo station. He's got he's got a basketball in his arm and then they're taking it away from him and then they've got a hat and then,
Yeah.
there's all sorts of things.
Just a
going on.
washing
So
machine of just things you have to go through.
And then finally at the end of the night, once we're done putting cameras in their faces and microphones kind of under their chins, then they can kind of just breathe. And it's like, okay, we can celebrate. We can go have dinner for, a while. And then we've got like 12 hours and then we got to get on a plane and come to Oklahoma City.
And all of that is about to happen again in just 2 days. And as crazy and chaotic as it sounds, it's also incredibly exciting.
Yeah.
And Nick, I know you've obviously been in the last 2 drafts, and just pulling back the curtain a little bit, what goes into preparing because on our end we have to do some preparation as well. So because we don't know what name is going to be called at that number 12 spot, so we are just accounting for just about any possible scenario.
Yeah, you and I go through all of our detailed research on these players as well. Obviously, we're not getting to go and like sit and watch them in gyms the way that the front office is, but we do have great opportunities to just do as much due diligence as we can so that when we're put in those situations, like we will be this upcoming weekend to interview any new players that are coming into the Thunder organization, it's a great chance for us to just be ready for those interviews. And you may remember last year we had that great podcast episode that we did with the draftees kind of all in the same room. And then hopefully we'll have some sort of similar opportunity with these guys this upcoming weekend after the draft, because you also may remember the players that came in. There were 4 guys that came in from last year's draft class, and they all went and like played some pickup at the Thunder Ion on that Friday in between being drafted and then coming in on Saturday to do the draft press conference.
It's always really cool to observe how the guys come together and kind of integrate with the team and with each other, because rookie bonding, that's a real thing. You're getting thrust into this new life in the NBA, and you're getting forged in the fire together.
Yeah. And so this is also a fascinating time for the Thunder in terms of team building. They've had 8 players selected in the last 2 drafts alone. So this has been a massive roster overhaul, obviously a massive infusion of youth and talented youth into the team. Well, the draft picks just keep coming.
Right.
OKC's got another pick here in the lottery at number 12. They've got tons of assets to move if they want to go, get the guy that they really want, get the human being that they think is the right fit for the organization. And that's going to be a new infusion of talent. And something that we saw last year was the way that the team really absorbed that with a guy like J-Dub, with a guy like Ousmane. And so with Chet coming back in the fold with this number 12 pick or wherever the Thunder end up getting somebody, there's going to be even more to figure out. And that's the exciting part too, because more weapons to play with.
So much to look forward to. Now, we've kind of expressed and told you about our experience from our perspective with the draft, but Nick had an awesome opportunity this past week to sit down and talk to Usman Dieng, catch up with him, but also recap what draft night was like for him. So don't go anywhere. We got that interview coming up after the break.
COOP Ale Works is the proud sponsor of Thunder Basketball Universe. Brewers of the fan favorites F5 IPA and 99-calorie Ice Chest IPA. You'll find those and many more COOP beers at retailers across Oklahoma. Learn more at coopaleworks.com.
Ousmane Dieng heading into his second NBA season. He's got a full offseason and summer here in Oklahoma City, and he's been giving back in the community. 3 events in 2 days, giving over 500 pairs of shoes, socks, sneakers, Adidas gear, as he's in partnership with Adidas to give back to some kids in the Oklahoma City area. And Ousmane, we're almost a year removed from you being drafted in the NBA draft, number 11 overall by the Thunder. As you look back on the first year of your career, and of course that great night for you and your family on draft night, what are some of your memories of being drafted?
That was a great night. Like, I was with my family in New York, and that was just a great night. Like, it was a dream becoming true, and I have good memories of that night.
I know that your dad was a former professional basketball player as well. To be able to share that with him specifically, what did that mean to you? Especially, we're almost here at Father's Day.
Yeah, that was amazing, because that was his dream too, to be a NBA player, and I think he saw himself in me, so that was amazing. That was an amazing moment for me and my dad.
So, after you got drafted, I'm sure it was kind of a crazy 24, 48 hours. What do you remember about that time period of thinking, okay, there was a draft night trade. I'm going to Oklahoma City. What was all that like for you?
There was a trade that was a little bit crazy, and yeah, because I saw J-Dub after the draft, and we thought that we were drafting for each other, so that was pretty funny. And then the 48 hours after the draft was a little bit crazy. We went to OKC straight away. Then we had the press conference. So that was a busy 48 hours, but that was good.
Yeah, you, J-Dub, Chet, you were all there that night. You didn't necessarily know each other very well before that, and then you got to know each other very well being a part of the same rookie class. What was that like, kind of bonding with your teammates over the course of the last 12 months?
I think that was pretty easy, because we're a young team, so obviously we have the same interests, and they were really helpful. So no, everything was really fluid and cool.
You had some really high moments. You had a tough injury as well in your rookie year, but one thing that you told me is that you just controlled what you could control and tried to not get too high or get too low. As you look back on your first year, how proud are you of just the steadiness that you tried to show throughout the year?
I think I'm pretty proud. Like you said, during the injury, you can go too low and be mad, but I was trying to, like you said, control what I can control. That was a wrist injury, so I was still able to work on my legs, still able to run and play with my right hand. So I'm pretty proud of that.
You finished the year playing with so much force. You ripped the ball out of Steph Curry's hand. You went downhill dunking on people. What did you think about just the way physically you matured and the strides that you were able to make as a player?
Yeah, I think I become better on that part of my game, but I can still be better. That's what I'm working on every day. But I'm pretty proud, and I hope that I'm gonna keep evolving.
I know you're the type of guy, because you have so much potential. You have such a high skill level, high basketball IQ. You're kind of working on everything this summer, I would assume. Anything in particular that you feel like, okay, I'm really making some good positive steps forward?
My body, in the weight room, I'm working a lot in the weight room, and also my shot with Chip. I'm working a lot on my shot. So probably those two parts.
The draft is coming up soon. What advice would you give to whoever the Thunder selects in this next draft about becoming a Thunder player and about enjoying draft night?
Just enjoy the draft night. That will be a really great night, and just keep working, because nothing is achieved right now. So just keep working and get better.
You were the rookie last year. There are going to be some rookies coming in that are going to help you out this year. You're going to be kind of in that mentorship role, just like you were with these kids over the last couple of days. What's this been like for you, giving back and finding a way to sort of be in that mentorship role as a 20-year-old?
I'm pretty young, but I love to give back to the community, and that was a great opportunity these 2 days. So that was just a lot of fun, playing knockouts, playing with the kids, give them some shoes and some gear. So that was pretty fun.
We found out that knockout in France is called Lucky Luke, and so that's a game that we'll be playing here in Oklahoma for years to come. Uz, thank you so much for being here, here for the kids, and for spending some time with us.
Thank you.
All right, that's Ousmane Dieng. I'm Nick Galla, and this is Thunder Basketball.
So great catching up with our guy, Uz. And it was nice to be able to talk to him while he's in Oklahoma. But he's not just here for basketball reasons. I mean, he's giving back to the community, which is the whole purpose of you getting a chance to sit down and talk to him.
Yeah, for those of you watching on YouTube, you saw that we were sitting in a school, and you might have wondered, what is happening here? Why? Ousmane, over a 2-day span, held 3 different community events here that spanned 105 miles in the metro area. He was all over the place. He started out in Shawnee on Thursday. Then he came back to the metro, went to the Boys and Girls Club of Oklahoma County, and then finished off at Oklahoma Cleats for Kids. And basically, the whole impetus here was for Ousmane to, in this kind of unprecedented move. Nobody does 3 events in 2 days like this. But he really, is getting acclimated to the Oklahoma City community. Mm-hmm. He's really getting acclimated to the United States, to English, to to his life as a professional. I mean, he just turned 20 years old. And so what really stood out to me is just how remarkable it was for a 20-year-old to be thinking about anybody other than himself. But he did reveal that when he found out that the YMCA out in Shawnee got destroyed by a recent tornado back in April, he was like shocked by that. You know, he's still learning about tornadoes.
I know.
And so that was sort of the impetus of why he wanted to do something nice. And so he ended up giving out 500 shoes, shorts, you know, all sorts of athletic gear, socks to these kids throughout the metro area.
I love this because Uz is obviously a rookie, the youngest player on this team. And you pointed this out in your article, which is on OKCthunder.com. Please go check it out. That besides the kids, Uz was the youngest one at each one of these events. And yet he's the one that is kind of leading the charge in this give back.
Yeah, he said, you know, I didn't have this type of event when I was young. And I was like,
when you were
young? Excuse me?
You know, back in my day, we didn't have these sort of things. But that just goes to show like the character of Uz and what he's learning being in the NBA.
Yeah, and it was just so cool because it wasn't just the donation, because on top of the gear, he also gave a significant monetary donation to these organizations as well. But he really got in the mix and he was playing with the kids. They did Pop-A-Shot at the YMCA kind of offshoot site that these kids are playing at now because they can't be at the YMCA out in Shawnee. He, you know, did all sorts of games and activities with the kids at the Boys and Girls Club. He played Knockout with Rumble, and some of the kids. Uz revealed to us that in France, the game Knockout is called Lucky Luke. So you can kind of keep that in your arsenal if you want to play a little variation on that game. And then actually, one of the coolest things was at Oklahoma Cleats for Kids. The Millwood Middle School girls basketball team was there, and Uz helped outfit them with new basketball shoes, size them up, help them, you know, pick out styles and make sure that everything was fitting properly. And so it was really cool. He kind of was able to do the fun, the active, and then the heartfelt as well.
Yeah. My favorite thing about these sort of events is seeing the kids' reactions when the player walks into the room, because obviously an NBA player standing at 6 foot whatever above all of these kids who are no taller than probably 4 or 5 feet tall, and seeing their reactions to such a tall human being, but also an NBA player. That's my favorite part of these events, because you can almost hear and feel the gasp when they walk into the room.
Yeah, one kid screamed, "My brain is exploding!" when he walked in and he saw there was this like cornucopia of gear, and I was like, "That is a 7-year-old."
And that is the effect, yes, right there of a 7-year-old.
I also know that you're wondering, and yes, Rumble just buried a corner 3-pointer.
Did he really?
Perfect form. I was, you know, flabbergasted.
That Rumble, it's all those half-court shots that he does. I mean,
well, I figured he had the form that way over his head, but I didn't think that he was gonna, you know, line it up like Ray Allen.
No, Rumble's got touch. Yeah. Rumble's got that shooter's touch. Okay, so that was Usman's event, and that took place last week. But it's not just Uz that was getting into the mix, and it's really cool to see how Thunder players are giving back even outside of the regular season. And another guy, still ingrained with his community. He wasn't even here, but he really wanted to make sure that the community felt his presence, was Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And he was away in Canada preparing for his time with Team Canada. He was training for upcoming World Cup. But he provided 30 students here in Oklahoma City with scholarships to attend Camp Contemporary at the Contemporary Arts Center here in Oklahoma City. And not only that, but they were able to custom design their own sneakers. They got daily swag drops. They got a bunch of Converse gear. They got a bunch of Thunder gear. And by the end of the week, they did a little fashion show of their sneakers. And Shai he sent in a video just saying, you know, welcome to Camp Contemporary. Really sad I couldn't be there, but I'm really excited to see the pictures. And so I think Shai was probably proud from these creations.
Of course. And you covered this for OKCthunder.com. Can you tell us a little bit more about where this comes from within Shai, outside of like, we know he's into fashion, but this is a totally different twist on it, almost encouraging these kids to tap into their own skills as designers.
Now, we know, so Shea is the reigning 2-time GQ most stylish man of the year. So we know that Shea loves fashion. He loves expressing himself through creativity and arts and fashion. And so that's how he gives back. That's his passion. And so, some people are into science and STEM, and some people, like cars or whatnot. Shea is into fashion, and he wants to make sure that other kids in the community have their ability to be able to express themselves or tap into that and learn more about it if they're interested, and make sure they have the opportunity to do so. And so this is actually the second time that Shea partnered with the Contemporary Arts Center here in Oklahoma City. The last time, it was actually the first time, was in December during the holidays, and it was a similar event, but that was with a nonprofit called Poetry and Chill, and same idea, design your own sneakers. That event, Shea sat down at the table with the kids and designed a sneaker with them. Had some Thunder logos and some Thunder swag on there too.
I just don't understand how somebody can be so good at one thing and have the time and the skill level to do something else really great as well. Shea, just shout out to Shea.
Shout out to Shea. Yeah. And if you see some kids walking around with some really cool, custom looking Converse here in Oklahoma City, you know where they came from. Yeah. It's been a really, really cool week, just in terms of preparing for this draft, but also seeing what the Thunder players are doing here in the OKC community. Lots happening here in the offseason. It's been really fun.
Yeah. And this is the quiet time of the offseason.
Yeah.
What we're about to get to starting Thursday really sets the ball in motion, no pun intended, for the next 3 to 4 weeks. And this is going to be a downhill ski slalom for the next 3 weeks or so as these new players come into market. The summer league teams start to kind of form, and it's basically 2.5, 3 straight weeks of 2+ weeks of summer league training camp, then summer league action in Salt Lake City and Las Vegas. And then in August, guys kind of relax again and kind of get geared up for being back into market in September.
Let's get you those dates for what's on tap. You mentioned the draft, obviously, this Thursday, the 22nd. That is going to air on ESPN at 7 p.m. Central Time. So tune in. Keep your eyes on number 12. That's been a pretty good number for OKC historically. And then Summer League will start actually on July 3rd, because OKC will be participating in the Salt Lake City Summer League, just like they have the last couple of seasons, correct? And then they will also participate in the Vegas Summer League, which will be on July 7th through the 17th.
Yeah, that's right. And so it's a smaller group of teams in Salt Lake City. I believe just 4 teams there, hosted by the Jazz, of course. And then once you go to Vegas, that's the whole big just circus where it's all 30 teams and half the games are televised.
Right.
I think we know that there's going to be a lot of eyes on some of these top draft picks that are coming into the league. And so many people, of course, remember just the excitement that the Thunder has had with their new draft picks coming in over the years too. So these games in Salt Lake City and Vegas will be your first chance to see whoever the Thunder selects in the first round of this year's draft. And you might get a chance to see some other guys from the Thunder roster as well on that team.
We highly encourage you to tune in to that Summer League. Really fun to watch, and obviously fun to be able to cover it as well. But that wraps up today's podcast. Be sure to get a big, nice breath of fresh air before Thursday, because once Thursday hits, we hit the ground running with a bunch of action between the draft and Summer League. So be sure to come back here to the Thunder Basketball Universe podcast. We've got you covered here and online, OKCThunder.com. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Be sure to like, rate, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you so much to our producer, Matt Bishop. And until next time, Thunder up, and catch you later.